Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. Hello.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We welcome you all to tonight's class. It's going to be a pep talk / revision with our facilitator. We are very sorry for starting late, but he's here with us and we'll soon be starting shortly. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalamu alaikum, our dear facilitator. Can you kindly unmute yourself? We can't hear a word. Assalamu alaikum.
No.
Yeah, we can't hear anything you are saying before. Have you been talking? You are muted.
No, he has not.
Okay, when are we planning to start, sir? Because we are already here and the recording will start.
Very soon.
Okay, sir, we'll be expecting, sir.
Okay.
Just let us know so that we can start the opening prayer and continue with the program. All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Azan, sir. Can we start in the next 5 minutes? Because this is 5 minutes to 10.
No, alaikum salam.
Sir.
Alaikum salam. Alaikum salam. I think probably they are trying to look at the number of participants.
It's not about the number of participants. I think he is doing something and he needs to be here with us because we are just.
His mic is on now.
I can see that.
Let's listen to him.
Hello, sir, Mr. Azan, sir. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Or maybe he has a technical issue.
I believe that's what I want to believe. But we've spoken a few minutes ago and I said we will be starting in no time.
Let us wait till the 10. Let's see what will happen. In the next 3 minutes.
Yes, that's next 3 minutes. That's what I'm trying to confirm.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, Mr. Azan. Mr. Azan. Assalamu alaikum.
I'm trying to put a call through to him now.
Okay. I think it's better. I've shut up the one of the coordinators. Then a few
Assalamu alaikum, dear participant. We are very sorry for starting so late.
Yeah.
It seems.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you clearly now.
Okay.
Our translator was having technical issue before, but now he's here with us. Alhaji Ibrahim JJ, can you please kindly give us opening prayer so that we can start this meeting once and for all?
No, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam, sir. Opening prayer, sir.
Okay, sir. So we are about to start our program this night. And we are starting in the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Subhanahu wa bika, Rabbil Izzati amma yasifun. Assalamu ala al-mursaleen. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Azan Saberdo, you have the floor, sir, because you already spent 1 hour.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah, Ibrahim. We're very grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for us. We are alive and has given us the privilege to be having this kind of training to enhance our career development and job prospect. So we're allowed to bless it for us. So as I understand, that today's meeting is anchored on kind of career talk, right? A motivational talk to be a kind of booster to the participants of this training. So I've tried to speak with someone I knew who also has been in the field for some years now, and he started low and he has gone far in the field of database management or data management. His name is Brother Yusuf Idris. So I will be allowing him to take over the talk, and I enjoy us to have patience to listen to him because I believe we are going to gain so much from his wealth of experience. Now, Brother Idris, over to you.
Brother Idris Fasasi, I believe. Sir, kindly. Sir?
Idris Yusuf.
Idris Yusuf. Okay. He's here with us. Sir, can you please unmute yourself so that you can take us on this journey, sir? Brother Idris Yusuf. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Idris Yusuf. Alhaji Sabredo, can you please get across to him? It seems he's having technical issue. We are not sure the reason why he's unable to unmute himself.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Salam
to reach
alaikum.
out to you.
I
He's
think
here
I
with
can.
us now.
Okay.
We can hear you now, sir. We can hear you now, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good
You
evening,
have the floor,
everybody.
sir. Good evening, sir. Welcome, sir. Sorry, sir.
Yeah, I want to. We see on all our past predecessors and on each one of us the day of reckoning. Amen. Great opportunity for us. And I want to thank all the organizers of today's event because it's very important. And I'm going to allude some reasons to why it's very, very important. It's one thing for somebody to have a premonitions of what he or she wants to drive at. It's another thing for somebody to be deeply convinced, to be able to go ahead in pursuit of that passion. So most often than not, when goals are actually defined for us, or we are motivated to do some things, our attitude differs in both scenarios. A motivated person willing to give it its entire all to be able to achieve something, we obviously have more resilience than somebody that perhaps just chart a path of career development for him or she. And today we'll be discussing something very important. And because I believe I'm speaking to my own people, I want to believe these are all our brothers and sisters. Is this a public? I've been trying to look at my audience analysis. I've been trying to look at the names. I want to believe I'm talking to, everybody here. I want to believe we have the same faith inclination, so to say. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. It is okay, sir. This is a training organized by NASFAT.
Yeah, I know. At times, some information, we are in social media. I just want to know so that I'm just trying to do an audience analysis. Yeah, to be able to know my audience so that.
You are good to go, sir.
Today, there is something that is synonymous to the human. And when I mean the human now, that is not exaggerating myself and you, each and every one of us. And it's the fact that we have our strength in some areas, and obviously we are lacking a lot in some other areas. Daddy, in any case, what is important here is that the human is not doing so well in some areas. We have an option, whether we get organized or we keep agonizing, that we have so many Muslims in the park and we have very few Muslims in corporate offices. We either keep agonizing or we get organized. I'm happy that the organizers of this activity has decided to take the bull by the horn and get organized rather than just mere agonizing. And they've actually done their part. The bulk of the work actually lies with each and every one of us here as participants. I want to believe here that the career path we are choosing here, we are all fully aware of the fact that it's going to demand some things from us. And one of such things is dedication. Career as a database administrator, it's something very interesting. Data now is actually referred to as a new oil. Some couple of days ago, I was trying to explain something to some people. I said, for those of us that use Google Timeline, Google Map, just the timeline for year 2020 was released. I don't know how many of us here received the Google timeline of our activities in the last few, for last year. Google released
Google timeline for all users of Google Map for last year. And that should actually resonate in your heart or in your mind when you look at your Google timeline. I don't know. Is there anybody here that received his or her own Google timeline? Is there anybody? I received mine. Hello?
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. We couldn't hear you again, sir. Now we can hear you.
Oh, God. Okay, I was asking that, is there anybody that received the Google timeline here?
Yes, I did receive mine, sir.
Okay,
Kindly
good.
indicate through the chat, sir. Through the chat if you receive responding through the chat.
The day where everything that is hidden will be actually made open. And when people say they don't really believe in God, they don't believe in resurrection after death, what comes to your mind as a techie person? That do you need to wait till the day of judgment to really believe that some things are possible? Your Google timeline effectively shows your pathway, how you move. If you move from your home at Arepo to your office in Banana Island or to your office in Lekki, in Aja, anywhere, if that is your route every day, you will see the timeline, you see how it moves. If you have another house where you normally go to, you have another route where you normally go to, maybe you go to one social spot, you go to one place, you go to, it's actually show it. What I want to bring out here is that right here on heart, nothing is actually hidden. How much more Allah, the super being. But let me bring out all this one in a more, let me contextualize it to our discussion. How do you think all this intelligence are being arrived at? It is through the power of data. It is through the what? The power of data. Now, the most sensitive thing, the most important thing now in the world now is data. Because of what we call predictive analytics. The more data you have, the more you can actually consume, the more you can actually predict, the more you can actually learn, the more you can actually be able to be proactive. So volume of data being churned out every day is in terabyte, petabyte, as in huge volumes of data. In fact, before, we used to have a very strict attachment for relational data, that's in data stored in a particular fixed format, rows and column. Now, there are systems that are now designed to actually consume data that are not even relational. Video content, note words, anything. Systems, language expression matching, things have actually been designed to get any form of data and convert it to a usable form where meaningful intelligence can be made out of it. A lot of people do not know that the brain behind that science, the brain behind that prowess of data in the 21st century is actually the database. The pathway to achieve this is through thorough understanding of what exactly is data and how do you administer data. So you are not making mistake at all when you come to the database career role. But I want to tell you something very important. Everything is changing. The database career role now is even evolving and is changing so fast. My boss is here. May Allah preserve him more for the dean. Alaji Saberedo is effectively my boss till date. Several years ago, we used to work on Oracle 9 High. After some time, it was 10G, 11G, 12, 18, and you discover that if there's anything about this industry, it is the fact that you must always be on your toes. You must always learn. Even DBA role now is actually, if to transit to a data scientist, is actually taking some areas of what? Of even programming for you to be able to transit to some other things. But one thing you must know is that you must have a very strong, very strong, very strong foundation. Note my emphasis. And when you are good in database management, I can tell you that that foundation is just all you need. You can easily build on it and do so many things afterwards. This particular way now, that is the promises, and that is the relevance it has to your faith, and at the same time, the promises it has for the future. And as I was bringing the idea of Google Timeline, just like Umar told us that we should evaluate ourselves, Qabla and to our Sibukum, before we actually evaluated by Allah. That means that even Allah himself is very critical about data. If Allah says, he is the one that is going to unveil all what is hidden. That means Allah is very conscious about data. Kiraman Katibin. Allah talked about the honorable writers. Those that write what we do. Those in the right, those in the left. Allah is very meticulous about data. وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَوْا وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَوْا. That means no matter how small anything is, Allah says he's not so going to forget. Is it not in Surah Tagabun? Allah says, يَوْمَ يَبْعَثُهُمُ اللَّهُ جَمِيعًا أَحْصَاهُ اللَّهُ وَنَسُوهُ. Allah says on the day of Qiyamah, we are going to erase everybody. أَحْصَاهُ اللَّهُ وَنَسُوهُ. You have offended Allah and you have forgotten. But Allah has never forgotten. Allah is very meticulous about data. So you are in that role, you are in that career position that you must drive yourself. Don't be a laggard. This and that. One of the things I've seen with some of our brothers is that they get carried away with a lot of other things. I'm telling you all this so that you will see this career path as a pursuit of what? Of as something you can actually attach to your faith. So if that strongness, that strong faith inclination will achieve this your career, yes, please, it is. Very careful. Because Allah is not just so, and that is concept of UDP. You don't talk with data. Because the moment enterprise data is done, you actually kill that company. Data speaks volume, and data is everything. It is the new oil. And that is it about our faith, and that is it about the future it promises to give us. Let me tell you one thing. The more data you have now, the more you can actually navigate or lead the world. It's a whole lot of topic on its own. But since I can't share slide, I can't do this. Just let me make that summary like that now. The other part is that the financial remunerations and the economic imports or the economic pathway, I decided not to start with this. Yeah. The reason why I didn't start with this first is that as a Muslim, you need to be very clear about your goal. And in anything you're doing, for you to be able to earn a last reward, your goal must, you must find a succor within the MPS of faith in what you're doing. Life should not just be first and foremost money alone. If that is the case, our doctors dying in the front line now, fighting COVID, they are not even as well paid as a DBA. I can confirm that to you. So while I was doing computer science, I have some of my friends doing medicine. So as a DBA career person in telco, I know I do wonderfully well than them economically, and they are doctors. They are reading. Me, I can create a database, crash it, learn, discover, do anything, learn with it. They cannot even joke with human being. Everything about them is very serious. But me, I can do tests, I can do a test database and learn several things and quickly develop. For every time they want to do new lesson, perhaps somebody must have died. But why I decided to start with that area of faith and what it have in terms of career is so that you will set your priority right. But however, I'm very much aware that we also need this economic word, freedom. When it comes to poverty, when we do what we're supposed to do, Allah Azza will actually bless us and also reward our efforts. I can tell you that a DBA role will give you a very good economic returns. A very, very good economic returns. You don't need to bother yourself so much. You only need to be diligent and to be a goal getter and be prayerful as well. I remember there was a time one of my mentee came and was like, okay, you needed to do this. Okay. You want to learn DBA. We started teaching. After some time, he got to work in a multinational. Today he's in Canada. In fact, when he did the analysis of what he's earning in Canada for me, as a DBA, when he did the analysis of what he's earning in Canada for me, it's maybe over 2.7 M, close to 3 M per month. I'm sure Mr. Saber knows this person very well because that person also worked under him along the line too. There are several opportunities you're going to learn in this career. The good thing here is that no organization can do without a DBA. There is no single organization that can do without a DBA. Anytime you cannot access something in small bank, anytime any bank is having, anytime any of these your bank is having issues, I can tell you that maybe they're having issues with their what? With their database platforms. It's easier for you to do redundancy here and there, but when you administer a database, you need very good hands. And that is why all these companies, they don't joke with the DBA. They really don't joke with it at all. The bulk of, in fact, there is no organization that you will see that will not need a DBA. And the reward is always very, very promising. You just need to be very, very to be very deliberate. Yes, let me use that word, in having incremental gains and incremental development. Every time you are given an assignment, every time you are given a task to do, make sure you are learning. Don't deceive yourself. I struggle a lot. There was a training session I was doing, and I saw people, even while in the training session, they're always with their phone chatting. And I asked them, are you supposed to be glued to your phone, or you're supposed to be doing hands-on exercises? You need to is that what you've not done before, you do it. You do it. To learn with it. The day you're going to apply some of those things, you'll be celebrating as hero in your company. I want to have that perception. Nobody will ever want to do. The job of it is one that gives you a kind of a sense of relief. When banker says they have to be on seat by 7 a.m. in the banking or probably to bankers here, as a DBA, you can work anywhere. I'm sure my boss, Abia, has been working remotely anywhere now. And those days when we were in IBM together, we can afford to support any countries of the world, just right anywhere we are. You don't even have to be in the office. Because maybe you are working with Indian time zone or American time zone or Malaysia time zone. You are a boss of your own. Kind of trying to say you have the time. What people just need to know is that is our database okay? And ordinarily they give you that flexibility. The flexibility they won't give a kind of a customer care support person that has to be on the phone to receive calls here and there. They give you that flexibility. You work with your time diligently. So DBA role will give you a whole lot of opportunity. And if you look at all these countries doing migration, this and that, they don't joke with the database administrator role because the world now is craving for data. Anywhere is data. Anything is data. And data is the new oil, is the new gold. So those are just going to be my very few points for us now tonight. I want to encourage us to try as much as possible to be passionate about what we are learning. Don't are those days where somebody is going to spoon feed you. If you are lucky to have somebody dedicated 2 hours for you on a virtual section to teach you something, once you are taught the basics, my dear brothers and sisters, don't deceive yourself. Go online, read more, try to do practical, set up a mini instance on your system and practicalize. Practicalize. See, if I want to interview a DBA, if you tell me you have a 10,001 certification, I'll just okay. I know what I'm going to ask you. I will know if you're an handsome person or not. And that's why a lot of people say they have a certification, they are not getting job. Who tells you? If you really want to work, they are work for you. If you know what you're doing. So the problem is people are actually detached from the real knowledge. Classes like this avail you the opportunity to learn from the experts. And I can tell you that anywhere in all the telco, in several sectors, at least, you can be sure if you tell somebody that you are trained by Saberedo, they will tell you that no, you couldn't have been trained by a better person. Yeah. So I can tell you that effectively. If you go to any telco, if you go to, because people in those places know each other. So you have a very golden opportunity at your hands now. I just pray and hope that you are going to use it very well. Reduce what you do online. Why must you be chatting all the time? Why must you be on YouTube? You have Netflix subscription. You have 1001 subscription. All these things are the distractions, the bad and the ugly of the internet. You need to leave some of those damn crazy things and focus what matters to your life. You're on Instagram, you're on Instagram, you're on Instagram, you're on Nanogram, everything gram. I don't know. You want to respond every time to everything, you will be losing some things that's very critical to you in your life. I know most of us probably we are millennials. This is what some of our parents can afford that, or maybe one way or the other we can actually solve for fun. But how about so many people that cannot afford it? Now listen to me and quote me very well. What I learned in Aptech be compared with what I learned with Saberedo when I joined Telco and work under him within few weeks. So people overhype some things. The best training you can get is when you are trained by experts. Just like those days who will say, come and train Forex. Come on, I'm a Forex trainer. Somebody that is training you Forex how to make money. Even he himself is not a trader, he's a trainer. So a trainer is training you. The best training you can get is when a real life trader is actually training you. So I paid heavily over 250,000 naira for Oracle Workforce Development Program for Aptech. I'm talking of, was it not 2005, 2006 then? Yeah, that was in Aptech, Maryland. Paid heavily, even those days while we are in class. So many of our classmates are not serious. They're just there for passion. They're just there for passion. And just some few ones among us are very ferocious about the learning. As ferocious as we are not even opportune to see very good hands to teach us because the good hands are in the industry. So what I learned within 1 month of working with the experts can never be compared with what I learned with several months after paying hundreds of thousands in Aptech. So make no mistake, don't dull yourself. Take the best out of these things. I'm sorry, I don't motivate people to make things look easy. It's not going to be an easy out. It's not going because you have to reduce so many things. You have to sharpen your focus. You have to dedicate. All those you're gallivanting, moving around, needlessly going to what you don't really have to do. You have to reduce it drastically. And you have to body yourself in the real learning. I'm sorry. There is no pain, there is no gain. That's actually the path to stardom in life. You have to burn the midnight oil. You have to be dedicated. You need to learn how to ask questions. You have to practice yourself. When you practice and you are seeing yourself discovering it, you're always elated. And that you have practicalized, you have learned, becomes part of you mentally forever. When you are being interviewed, the way you respond will be different for somebody that just read it alone. So reading, this is not about reading, it's about doing, it's about acting. And this is what I tell people that are in development, doing code, full stack coding, or when they are doing a DBA career role. This is not a CISA role there where you just read and do some other few things. And in DBA, my dear brothers and sisters, You need to have a good laptop. You need to set up your instance. You need to practicalize. So, and I hope and I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make you one of those my boss has discussed with that championing discuss with Brother Yusuf too, the national president of NASFAT, may Allah bless him, and all those that are ready to make this to fly. Actually, this is just how best we can help this Ummah. Our forefathers have tried. It makes no sense to be criticizing them. What are we going to do to make our own teeming youth, our populace, to be able to stand better in the economic ladder in the country? This is just a simple pathway, honestly. We empower ourselves, we build giants, we build champions. When you are so good in what you're doing, nobody will comment to you about an hijabi person. In an interview, you speak confidently, you answer questions, showing that you are so convinced. Even if they want to discriminate against you, deep down in their heart, they will know that what they are doing is what is unethical. So forget about any barrier. Get the knowledge first. Be strong-willed, be tenacious, be focused. So be self-driven, be clear about what you want, so that distractions will not come along your way. So when you have all these things, forget about discrimination here and there. Only the best is never discriminated against. If you are the best in your class and you are effectively a first class, it will be difficult for somebody to discriminate against you. But if we are managing 2-1, 2-2, and maybe we are managing 2-2, you are just roving around third class, and hey, they can discriminate against you. Nobody discriminates against the best. It's not possible. So I want to charge you all to be the best anywhere you are. Be the best. If you are the best, it will be difficult to discriminate against you. By the way, the lie Hamuru bin Qablu wa min bad. So Allah is the final decider of all affairs. So just do your own part. Once you've done your own part, destiny will move towards your course. And everything else will walk along your way. Because that's what Allah told us in Al-Quran Karim. That man will never get anything illa masa'a, except what you have strived for. Except what you have strived for. Allah told Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that wama romaita idh romaita walakin Allah arahma. Prophet, even when you throw the stone, when you throw the arrow, you are not the one throwing it. Walakin Allah arahma. It is we, Allah, that is throwing it. Yet Allah asked the prophet to go out for Badr and Uhud. So nothing justifies laziness in this religion. If Allah wants you to make it, fakot dara wahada. Allah is one that preordained. Fakot dara. He must have preordained things for Ada. He will not guide somebody to that destiny. So whatever you are doing now is a premonition of possibly what Allah has in stock for you tomorrow. Make the best out of today, my dear brothers and sisters. Be a champion today, and Allah will make you champion tomorrow in the future. Don't waste your time. I'm always bothered about how our youth now waste the whole of their life. Talk or not. One of the major things, because I have so many mentees too that are millennials, one of them are easily distracted. Haba, you are easily distracted. Kill that distraction. Wallahi, just yesterday,
The audio is breaking up.
she did she had 243 or 245 engineering in Ife, and she just said, I asked her, is she living? She's living in a very high area. Who asked you to come? Just said she just needed to learn this. Today, I saw her yesterday. This is not a in the mechanic workshop. So not everybody is getting it wrong. That's my point. The champions of tomorrow are being made today. Be one of those champions. And we need Muslims that will be champions. Wallahi. Today, nobody talks about Professor Loede as being somebody that didn't go to secondary school and he's a professor of Arabic and Islam. Nobody talks about that. People talk about a champion. So I don't forget about the discrimination. They are Muslims, this and that. Nothing is against you except your own personal mindset. Just go for the gold, and Allah will meet you even in higher places with bigger things. But think like the king, fly like the queen. Think like what? Somebody that really want to make a change in life. So be the best you can, and Allah will help you all, inshallah. So that will be my message for tonight. It's a very short notice, and I just have to quickly do this. Whatever I've said that is that has fallen short of the Islamic standard, I wholeheartedly admit that it's my mistake, it's my fault. May Allah overlook it and pardon me. But that which I've said that is in tandem with the Quran and the Sunnah, may Allah accept as an act of worship from each and every one of us. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Salamun ala mursalin. Alhamdulillah.
Amen. Thank you very much, sir, for that eye-opening insight that you have given all of us tonight. We really appreciate you. We appreciate your presence, and we appreciate all what you actually dish out to us. And I believe that our participant has taken one or two things from your message. I would like our participant to actually ask questions, things that bother them or things they want to know about database administration that you want to ask our facilitator tonight. Kindly show by the raise of your hand so that you can unmute yourself. We'll call you according to how we are able to see that you are the first person to show your hand. Then you unmute yourself to ask your questions from the facilitator. Then the next person will go. Sister Latifat Fashino, you can go ahead to unmute yourself. You've been privileged to unmute yourself. So unmute yourself so that you can ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I really appreciate the stars that just finished talking. Thank you very much. May Allah increase in knowledge and understanding. So what I want to, he told us that although he gave us motivations, but it is not quite easy. Can he mention some specific challenges that we might meet along the way? So I will know how to brace up for it.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. It seems it's having network issue. Sir, you can go ahead and answer the question, sir. Brother Idris Yusuf. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam. So is the question being typed or what? I'm not sure.
No, she said that what are the challenges, as in what challenges are they to expect in this field so that they can be prepared for such challenges? So that's the question she asked.
Okay, well, there's really no challenges per se that can take you away if you are so much resolute about what you want to learn. But what I can say is that when you read Oracle material alone, it can be somehow confusing because, for example, now, any database material you pick, maybe Oracle, MySQL, or SQL Server, whatever you want to do, MongoDB, whatever variant you want to do, it's something that is so much sensitive to syntax. Let me tell you, if you want to say select all from my database, when you put select all, that all is aesthetic from, and you didn't put just space. If you just type, if you are reading all alone, you just type that and you don't know that is just where the error is. You just be there perpetually glued, you won't be able to move forward because it is very syntax sensitive. You must write it the way you should write it. So some of these things could be very frustrating. I'm telling you my own personal experience while I was learning, because I learned through thick of starting with reading books, going to meet people at home before now going to maybe centers where even so the major problem you will have is that if you don't have somebody that can easily point out to you that, oh, you made a mistake here, you have to put semicolon here. You have to put semicolon here. No. Next time when you type this is case sensitive. This is case sensitive. You have to quote with double quotes, not a single quote. That is a mistake. Some of these things, they are things experience will only give. Reading in the book alone may not give you that sense end to end. So those are the little challenges. And once you have that challenge, I'm sure you have a WhatsApp group. Post your question there, post your challenges there, and somebody can actually guide you with it. The other one is that if you don't have a gadget, phone at that time cost over 100,000 naira. You don't have a laptop of 270, 280 during those days of Core 5, Core 3. So if you don't have a system,
Brother Sulaiman Ahmed, you can go ahead with your question, please.
Yeah, thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam. Wa alaikum salam,
sorry.
sir.
Just want to make a little addition to what Brother said. So,
okay, sir.
In the area of possible challenges, I would say challenges, I'll look at it from like 3 angles, right? Or 4. You will face challenge when you are learning, which is at this current stage that you are in, just as has been explained by Brother, right? When you finish learning, you have learned where maybe you have done certification. You face challenge when you are looking for a job. When you now get that job, you will face challenge. The another challenge, which is the 4th one, is the dynamism in technology, which also has been spoken well about. So at the point of you learning, they have spoken much about that. Vis-a-vis, you want to type a command, maybe you miss just one character, it's not going to work. You can get confused. In fact, it can even frustrate you up to the level that you can say, well, let me just leave this thing. But you have to be determined that this thing you want to know it. So one of what can help, as he pointed out, is you get someone that can, guide you. And that is the essence of the WhatsApp group that we have, right? In fact, up to the level that even when you get job, when you are going for interview, we can advise you. When you even get the job, you have some challenges, you can still reach out, right? So that is that. Then also, you can use Google. We have talked so much about that in the part of the training that already has been covered. Google is very, very potent tool that can always guide you. I always tell you that there is no challenge you face that somebody there has not faced it before. So you have so much documentation, so much steps, everything explained. And you should form an habit, which is what I did before. Have a file, right? You can call it any name. Any issue that you encountered or you solve, you go to the internet and you now get a documentation, you now practice it and it works. Just copy that solution, paste it in your file, give it an appropriate heading, continue like that and be building that file. It will get to a time that that file will become so bulky, you will be able to solve over 80% of your challenges without going to the net again. Because the challenge you go to the net is, before you get solution to one problem, you might end up opening like 5 pages You have to look at, okay, which one. Some of them might even be talking so much distraction in what you see in the page. You end up checking like 5 before you say, okay, this one that is really relevant to what I'm solving. So if you now have your own file and you have built it up over years, anytime you have any challenge, just look for update table or create index. You just search for that in your file. As long as you give it the right heading, it will just take you to there, and then you just copy it, modify, put the name another, run it. 2 minutes, you are gone. So make use of, form the habit of using internet for whatever error you get. Anything you want to do, you want to create table, you want to insert into table, query to insert into table in Oracle. Put that in Google, you will see more than what you need. So that is that about the period of development. Now, at the point of view, getting job, right? There are so many ways by which somebody can get job. One of them is to network. And I understand there are efforts on ground, right, that are meant to help you at least. So, and for you to, when you have facility or provision to help, somebody to have to do much, because somebody that they want to help, you cannot end up failing, because there will be an assessment at the end of the program. So whoever failed will obviously not merit that kind of assistance. So you have to really show yourself, be serious and be determined. And if you're able to do very well, people like that will be able to at least get such benefit. Networking too, you can talk to, okay, people that you know are in that field. I've done this, I've done the, I have this education, and I've gone through a very structured training, and I'm confident about this now. You, and worst case, they just ask you a few questions. They see that you know it, then the person or two will be motivated to looking for opportunities. And also checking Google too, search for job, and also newspaper. So that is how to get, that is challenge at the point of completion, and you are looking for job. When you now get the job too, some of the challenges that you face is that, the speaker has spoken much on that. All eyes on you, right? As a DBA, they don't even know that you exist when everything is running fine. They will pass by you as if you are not even there itself. You know, aside the fact that, okay, you work as a team with other people, another, but nobody knows that you exist when things are running. But it's only when things break down. Let's say there is a table correction, or there's a database that goes down and the starting is not starting. That's when they know whether you are working or not. So that is going to be a big challenge. All eyes will be on you at that point. But management up to CEO level want to know who is handling that issue. Somebody will have to be given an update every now and then. Okay, yes, they have restored the table, and we are trying to select for me. So you are going to be under pressure. So that is a challenge on its own too. But if you know your work well, that will not be a problem for you. You just take control. Yeah, this is what I'm doing, and you can always use Google too to help you in such resolution. Then the fourth challenge I want to talk on is the dynamism in the technology. You know, the speaker when he spoke, he said 9 high, 10G, and you remember in our training, I've shown you the chronology of version changes. You can see where they started from Oracle, is it 12, version 2, like that, until currently we have Oracle 21C. And I told you, we have 12G is a chronology of 12.1, 12.2, 12.203, which is 19C. And currently, 21C already is being released, just I think within this month. Can you see? So that is, and you have, that means you have to be up and doing. If you say it's just 9, I know I want to sit down on that. Sooner or later, you discover that they have left you behind. So you have to be up and doing, be conscious of changes in the technology, new development that affects your job in the area of data management, MongoDB, no SQL, all those. You have to upgrade yourself. So that is my response to, in addition to what our speaker said. Now,
Thank you very much, sir. Brother Sulaiman Hamed, you can go ahead now, sir.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My question is on certification. When I was trying to learn more about DBA, I heard that if someone did not have this certification that you're supposed to have, it will be very, very difficult to get a job, especially maybe outside the country or even some organization in Nigeria that they are very, very big organization. Even if you even know the work, you will need certification. And I heard that the certification are some are expensive or things like that. So I want to ask that question, like, is it true? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Sir, can you please answer that?
Okay, yeah, so you are very correct. Certification, what I see certification do is it gives you an opportunity to be invited for an interview. Let me take that again. One of the foremost things certification will give you is that, for example, now I have busy executive, I don't have no time to attention. So I'll just look at, okay, can you just find me anyone with a degree and have at least maybe OCP or OCA? You know, I don't want to take somebody that I want to be so. I want certification with just like a qualitative CV. All what a very good CV gives is that it gives you the cash. And for me, that's the end of certification. To hand you an interview. I'm sorry, after that, the remaining thing, I will not call you to an interview and I'll be looking at your certificates. Okay, you have this, okay, you have this, okay. Because I know people use dump to pass. People read dump to pass. The cram la pour. So I'm never so finicky about this thing. That is one thing for, but if you are inside the system and your organization has career development, I remember there was a time my boss called us and he said, everybody should go and do Oracle certified experts. Everybody in the team is having OCP. And he just said, okay, we want people to go and do, and he gave us timeline. He said, go and do, and that's why I was actually forced to do my OCE, Oracle certified expert, which real application cluster and others, because I was given tough mandate to do it in the office, so that you can build the profile of the department and others like that. So that's another thing you need certification for, to show you are growing within rank in the organization. You get my point? But effectively, once you are good, you are good. And I encourage you to do your certification. But don't bother yourself so much now with certification. Because when you ask people to go and do Oracle, they don't have money for certification. They say, is this certification first? There are several people doing this job without certifications. And they are making a whole lot of money. So certification is a function of dollar to naira conversion. My very first certification, I think I paid 30,000 naira then. That was in the days of 150 naira for dollar, several years ago. 30,000 naira for SQL, Oracle SQL certifications then. So, I mean, now it's probably more than that. But I want to advise you, for now, focus on your learning. Learn first. When you learn, you earn. When you earn, you can actually spend more on your certifications. There is a time that you can comfortably spend millions on yourself, and it won't really affect your finances. When you have a very good job, you can spend millions on yourself in a quarter. In a year, you spend up to 2 million, 3 million on your own personal development. You won't be bothered. So learn, you earn. When you earn, you develop. When you develop, you get more. That's how you just live the vicious cycle. So that's my advice.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. Sister Fatia Egberongbe, you can go ahead with your question.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, my question is that I want to ask about, is there any part of this training where we have to come physical, maybe for those that need something like that? I personally, I would implore our facilitators if there can be a session where we can, even if it's just going to be a few people at a particular time so that we can actually go through the class practically with a mentor around, rather than sometimes when you work on your own at home, you get frustrated when you get to some point. You just have to go back, watch the recording again, and still try and try and try. I would, that's like I'm imploring now that if there can be an avenue where, if probably some of us that want it, even if just once, that we can actually come around with our systems, then we can actually ask our questions physically, then we can actually see things. Probably we are looking at it in different perspective. That's number one question. Number two is that I also like to ask about how do you actually position your curriculum vitae, your CV, in a way that it will be it would actually capture the employer's attention. If you don't have a certification and study something that is computer related, or even if you have studied something that is computer related, how do you position your CV?
Thank you very much for the questions. But for the first one, I'll take that. On the issue of physical class, due to the reality of COVID-19 that is happening right now in the country, even the first 3 days orientation was supposed to be physical, which everything has been paid and the hall and everything is ready. But due to the COVID-19 directive by Lagos State government, we are unable to run that physically. That's the reason. And on the issue of having practical class, that's why we have internship after this program. Internship is you learning on the job. You are going to learn on the job. So you see, this program is more or less like a class at which possibly you register for online, maybe in universities that are not within Nigeria, and you are taking classes. There are many classes like that. We have people taking courses on Udemy, taking courses on a lot of platforms, and all of them are online. And you finish the course, you write your exam, and you'll be able to use that certificate for one thing or the other. So if you put your mind to this, it's more or less like the same. But at the same time, we still have a situation whereby you will still go for internship after the training. And at the same time, again, we are going to be giving you mentor. You have your mentors there, even your facilitator will end up becoming your mentor. So that way, you can easily do one or two things together. So that is for that. The second question will be answered by our facilitator for tonight, Brother Idris Yusuf. Salam alaikum, sir.
Salam. Please, can you just recap?
The second question has to do with how you position your CV to catch the attention of your employer if you don't have certification.
Okay, that's very fine. So that's it. In fact, yeah, that was a very, very wonderful question. And actually, that's another option you can do if you don't have certifications. So what you just do in your statement of purpose, if you have to write statement of purpose, you tell them what you have done. And in doing this, a lot of people try to use the we do this, we do this, say exactly what you have done. Like, yeah, interview somebody now is telling you what they've done in their team. I'll be interested at what actually is your own role, because there's something we call Oladapo and Adeyanju. There's this popular saying that Oladapo, a lot of people just hide together, we did this. Adeyanju is I did it, I can do it. So what you can do is that if it comes with personal statements, make a very good personal statement of what you have done. I've set up so number of database before. I've managed so size of database before, and I, try to be assertive. And in doing that, tell us what you yourself you have done. That's number one. Number yes, at least a very good CV where you want to drop your CV. There's an American template for doing their CV. Yeah, they have a way where how they're expecting your CV. Some companies don't expect you to do more than a pager CV if you are coming from entry-level job role, not headhunting. You need to be very careful about this. Once you make 2-3 copies of CV, they will say it's too verbose. They will just drop it and shred it. So you need to know what constitutes the norms in where you are sending your CV. And in a place where you don't know what is their practice, you just say send to hr@kinikon.com. Okay, just be modest about it. Put what you have done in your JD. Let your JD be rich. You have done this, you have done that. And let me tell you one thing, CV is about hyping without you not necessarily telling lies. Don't tell lies, but you can actually hype and flaunt what you've done. So you need to be smart about that. And you need to also see a senior colleague that will tell you, okay, let me look at this CV. Because when you are writing a CV as a DB and you are saying what is totally out of technical context, people will just laugh and throw it away. So once you build something, make your JD to be rich, put what you have done in it, and also share with a senior person in that industry, a senior DBA to also help you look at it. Does it really resonate with you? So when people read your CV, they even when you don't have certification. For example, now, if I want to hire a Golden Gate DBA, for example, it's a technology in database, and all of them probably not, a lot of them probably would not have done the Golden Gate certification. But I see somebody that is telling me what he does there today on Golden Gate, what he did in project setting it up. I'll be more interested in calling that person. Even though all other persons too may be able to administer it, but because he or she has gone extra length to say something that resonates with what I want, I will most likely like to look into the direction of that person. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Brother Debola Bakari, I see your hands up. Can you unmute yourself and ask a question? Brother Debola Bakari. Seems it's not here with us, or possibly it's having a network issue. In the absence of no other question, we have our father in the house with us, the Chief Commissioner, NASFAT Worldwide. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, salam alaikum to that. Yeah, this is very, very wonderful. I really like this session. So at least we were able to more like building our career path. So we are gaining more experience and besides the learning. Yeah. I think the job has to do with more of constitution and practicals. Because as for me, it's more like it's not something you have to do in a day. Like every day you have to spend time on it. Because once you leave it in a day, it's going to leave you 10 times. It's like today, I think I even tried to call the facilitator. I just noticed like, oh, you're going to be at work. So I had more errors and I was able to resolve it on my own. And I think I got to understand the concept more. My question is, I need to understand more about the certification. I don't know if the facilitator can enlighten us more. I want to understand more about the certification so that we can know. I probably can prepare on working on that and all that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. Brother Idris Yusuf.
He asked about the certification, right?
Yes, sir.
That what are the certifications or what?
Yes, that can you enlighten us more about the certification, possibly the different certification that is available in this DBA, and also possibly if there is figure for them and all that.
Okay, so again, if we are entry-level DBAs, I want to encourage us, let us learn first before thinking of certification. Having said that, I'll give an insight to what you've asked. it depends. DBA is in itself a very wide area because there are different technologies through which you can administer DBA. There is a relational databases part where you have the MySQL, SQL Server, Oracle, Postgre, and several other ones. There is even the NoSQL part where you have some other tools entirely. Each of these tools have their own certification part. You understand my point? You can have your Microsoft certification specialists, all these ones, each one of them, each one you do will help you certification. But there's one thing problem with Microsoft certifications. It expires, at intervals. There is the Oracle certification part where you have your OCA, Oracle Certified Associate, OCP, Oracle Certified Professionals. You can also have your Oracle Certified Experts. You can also have your Oracle OCM, Oracle Certified Masters. And there are bulk of other certifications like that dedicated for each product. In fact, what the best way for you to know the certification is for each Oracle or for each Microsoft or for each any technology tools you want to learn. Look at the certification part online. You will see it's always a part. It's actually a chart where they will tell you how you move, how you flow. In all these ones, what you will see is that each product certification is like a product line thing. There is no, I'm a universal DBA, I have a global DBA certification. No, you're actually being certified on tools. On tools. You're actually being certified on tools, usage of tools. So that's just what the overlook of certifications look like. And the money is in dollars. They just convert it to Naira. And you have to do it in Prometric Center. Now, because of COVID, some of them are allowing you to do online remotely. All these things, they are very, very important. I just want to plead with you, please. I know we are all very wary of the fact that we need to do certification to be able to boost our employability. But I'm also begging us, let us try as much as possible to learn. And maybe I can just say that maybe after taking some few months or some few level of this thing, and we are advised to go for certification, we'll not start thinking of certification. But for now, let us learn first, please. Let us learn first. Because I remember in my class then in AppTech, almost everybody got the certifications. Because then you cannot even have OCP if you are not registered in Oracle designated centers. Almost everybody got his OCP certification then, but is there everybody that even knows it? No. Because even all the hands-on here and there that is part of certification, the center will help you to do it. So as Muslims, we don't want to turn out a kind of a non-productive set of people. We are more interested in producing productive people. Don't just be certificate tigers. Let us learn very well first. Then start thinking of certification. But I will encourage that as you are progressing and you also feel that certification can serve as impetus for you and you have the money, you can do it. You can do it. Yeah, you can do it if you feel it's going to serve as impetus for you. But don't prioritize certifications over the real learning. Because we've always seen so many certificate holders, they are just an apology.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. We have been made to understand that certification is not everything. It is now what you can do. That is what is happening in the IT world. If you have a certificate as a graphic designer and you are unable to design, you are nobody. So let us try as much as possible to focus on our learning, go out there and show them what we can do and get something doing, then we can now go for our certification. That is the message. Having said that, I believe there's nobody here that wants to ask question again because I'm not seeing any. I was about introducing our father, the Chief Missioner NASFAT Worldwide. Is here with us, and I believe he has one or two words for us. Salaam alaikum, sir.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I wouldn't have wanted to see anything. I've been monitoring behind the stage. I participated at the programming session. I was with them to the end before I moved to this one, and I've been very, very impressed. I only thank Allah for giving us professionals like Brother Idris, for giving us professionals like Amdallah, who is a programmer working out in Canada, What I do has been able to inspire the participants a lot. We thank Allah for your life. May Allah reward you abundantly. We thank
Amen.
Allah for Brother Bedo, who with the brain behind getting some of the facilities for us. I just discussed with him after Maghrib today, and he said he will get someone, and he got someone for us. It shows the kind of relationship that exists between him and some of his colleagues. May Allah not disgrace you. May Allah not tarnish your image. Allah continue to prosper you. 20 has been fantastic in moderating the program. May Allah grow you in intelligence, wisdom, taqwa, and faith. May Allah make all these efforts successful for all the participants. We have a goal, we have a mission. May Allah make our goals and mission to come into fruition. We don't want to have redundant youth. We want to have productive youth. We want to have youth that are employable. We want to have the youth that are making marks, and that is why we have set up this program. Somebody asked about practicals. We'll have loved to do this thing offline because of COVID-19. It has truly rightly said, you have the right, you have the opportunity of interacting with your facilitator one-on-one. If it is possible for us to organize it in such a way that we won't have more than 10 people at a gathering, by the time this COVID-19 subsides, the money we pay for the hall is there. The money for feeding is there. Somebody has drawn money for us to feed you for 3 days. Somebody, people are ready to foot the bill. We don't want to expose you to danger. That is why we have not done the physical thing. I don't know. We will continue to put our thinking cap on to see how you can practicalize some of the things, but you can continue to relate with your facilitator one-on-one. We will see how we can make you to come together offline. We are afraid of bridging end of the COVID-19 protocol. We don't necessarily want to be implicated in any way. We have the resources to camp you. We have the resources to discuss with you offline. We are afraid of breaching Lagos State government COVID-19 protocol. Let's continue to think. Let's continue to pray that the things subside. By the time it subsides, even if we don't use SCCI that we are paid for, we are paid for them at SCCI. We are paid for them at we are paid to them at SCCI. The situation came that we did not withdraw our money. Our money is still with them. We can use National Alifati Extension, Talausa, we are in Lagos. And let's see how it works out. May Allah bless our efforts. May Allah make us conclude the program, and may Allah provide jobs for all of you. Let's job for all of you. Wala quwwata illa billah. Hand over to Tunde to conclude the program. When is our next contact? Our next meeting?
That's Saturday, sir.
Okay, no meeting tomorrow.
No meeting tomorrow, sir.
Okay, Saturday and Sunday, only on Saturday?
No, this class is only on Saturday, sir.
Okay, no problem. Conclude the program.
Thank you very much, sir. Brother Yusuf Tijani, can you give us closing prayer? Because I can see that you muted your mic.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We thank Almighty Allah for tonight's class, and we pray may He increase our facilitators in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Warafanahu makana aliyah. And to our father in the house, we pray Almighty Allah to give him long life and prosperity, and may Allah reward him abundantly for all the good things he has been doing to NASFAT and the entire member as a whole. And to the participants, I say, Almighty Allah, we increase us in knowledge and understanding, so that at the end of everything, we'll be able to say, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And we also pray Almighty Allah should forgive each and every one of us in any way we might have sinned against him. Bijay Muhammad Rasulullah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. دعواهم فيها سبحانك اللهم وتحيتهم فيها السلام وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much for coming in today. We hope to see you in our next session. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.